Hey, Whisky Faces, I'm Chris.
And I'm Kara.
Kara, what do we have today?
We have Glen Scotia, Victoriana.
You sound so excited. I
I
don't know why.
Because I love her.
Oh, okay. Something
She's
you know about?
Cask strength, non-chill filtered.
Oh.
54.2% in this batch. They're batched, so that ABV will change.
I actually saw on a shelf before that I was like, oh, we have that, but it was like considerably higher, and I was like, what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then you told me it was
is finished in the finest deep charred oak casks.
That can be led to someone's interpretation of finest.
I'll be the judge. Thank you very much.
Like what we like, someone else might not like. So
I like this little. This reminds me of an old postage stamp. I really love that.
It does.
So this is a Campbelltown whiskey.
Okay.
There are 3 distillers on Campbelltown.
Only 3 or just 3 big ones?
Only 3.
That
It's very small. It's a small region. It's Glen Scotia.
High competition.
It is very Glen Scotia, Springbank, and I think it's called Glengyle, which does Kilkerran.
Oh, the Kilkerrans.
Yeah,
okay.
the distilleries call it Glengyle.
Cool. We have a sample of Springbank, but we haven't tried it because we know, or we're hoping that it's as amazing as we anticipated.
And they're not that easy to get anymore.
No, we were gonna put it in a blind, but we can't do that. We can't do that to the poor baby.
Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah, so we are going to enjoy that, I think, on a nice evening.
Oh, yeah? Okay, I kind of cheated.
Oh.
So, I was looking up Campbelltown whiskeys because I couldn't remember the name of, for some reason, Glengyle escaped me, and it's right there. Apparently, one of the characteristics of Campbelltown whiskeys is saltiness in the nose.
I get that, but it almost has like a slight, almost if it was a small parts per million peat.
Extra charred oak finish.
Okay, but I don't understand that. How that can have that.
They're very well.
I do get salty.
Yeah, I do too. It's very possible that they also use peat to dry their barley.
Okay.
In some parts, but it might
not be an official ppm.
Right.
I don't.
It's very possible because
there
are other distilleries that do that, and it's not saying it's not like this is peated whiskey. It just happens to be dried with peat, so you sometimes get those phenolic notes in it.
It has a subtleness to it that when you smell it, it kind of reminds you of the distinct note that peat.
Yeah, just a teensy tints. It's like an earthiness.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
Which peat is
It
kind of freaks me out.
Yeah,
like when I found out what it was, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like you have to dig in the mud for that?"
When I found out what peat was, I was like, "Oh my god, do we have enough?" But apparently we're okay because they make it every day. It's dead vegetation.
Yeah,
but it takes a long time.
Doesn't it have to be dead like X amount of time? Like
it takes a long time. It's like oil,
fuel, and oil.
Yes,
yeah.
Same thing.
All right, so then things have to start dying now, so we don't run out of peat in like a couple million years.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be a problem that we'll worry about. So it's okay.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
I really like this because it's so unique.
Once you sit with it, after I get past that sharp salty note, it's a lot. It's very like fruity, but also toffee.
It kind of reminds me if at along the beach, just having a nice drink.
Yeah. Get that salty air.
Would that be weird if we put this in a very concealing drinkware and just take a stroll along the beach?
No,
we'd blend right in.
I think it's
blend right in
for sure. Oh, I got a little. This is cask strength, so I just got a little zip of that alcohol on my nose. My lord,
that's cask strength. Oh, hold on. I don't know what ride this took me on.
Oh yeah.
It leaves that ending of a nice, rich char that you get on a heavy craft distiller No. 5 bourbon char.
I get
an alligator char that they call it.
No, what you get? I get more
on the end.
It reminds because there's so much malt in the mid palate.
Oh yeah.
And it gets the charness. Mm-hmm. It still reminds me of a low-level peat, like a 20 parts per million.
It has a quality like that.
Yeah.
But what the finish is that char that sometimes when you get on a bourbon, coming from bourbon converting over to single malt, that reminds me of some of those heavy char bourbons that finish.
So you can put those memories together.
That's how I'm like, okay, I get that. If you didn't tell me this was in heavy char, I would have been like, this kind of reminds me of an alligator char bourbon on the finish.
Wow. It reminds me so much of peat, though.
It does before you get that. It's the end dryingness note that you get. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
The after. The like the second finish where it's like, oh, here's some
it's like
barrel.
wood. But it's like burnt wood.
I got it.
Yeah. That's how I'm correlating it.
As opposed
to... It's a familiar note to me.
Burnt wood as opposed to charcoal that I get in peated whiskey.
Yes.
Because I get charcoal in Ardbeg. I get charred oak in like Montremoor. I'm sorry, I didn't say charred oak. I meant charcoal.
Ardbeg is like chewing on burnt rubber tires.
Yeah, but I also get a little bit of charcoal, don't I?
Yes, you do, with lighter fluid.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate.
Lighter fluid. Because that phenolic.
Some kids eat, other things and sniff Sharpies, and they just chew on charcoal and lighter fluid.
Yeah.
It's good.
Seems normal.
In liquid form.
It's normal. Yeah, it's normal. I love that candied note on the nose. It's a little butterscotchy.
It is.
A little butterscotch disc.
It doesn't have that much of an oily mouthfeel as I anticipated.
For the 54.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not thin by any means, but
I like it.
It has a nice a knife.
I heard.
Knife mouth coating. It's nice.
I like it.
It's still very, very nice.
Well,
but it surprised me that it wasn't oily, but it's more creamy versus oily.
Yes, I agree. This malt is
I like it. This is just highlighting their single malt. You don't have to hide it in.
But they put that extra char on it.
That kind of comes to play when you hit the mid to the finish.
Yeah, it's at the end.
But the front right there, that's just their malt.
So, you know how I am in love with the malt from Aaron. Mm-hmm. That's definitely more citrusy.
It is.
And lighter.
It's a happy scotch.
It is very happy. This is a little more rainy day. I would say rainy day scotch. Like, it's a little bit overcast. There's a chill in the air.
This is Seattle.
Yeah.
And Aaron is Hawaii.
Or close. Or close to it. Yeah. This is maybe Seattle or San Francisco where it rains a lot. But you're by the sea.
But it has nice days.
Yeah, but you're by the sea in San Francisco, right? So
you get that salty.
Okay. We'll argue about that later. But they're completely different malts, and I love them both.
I do. The front palate definitely highlights. I would be very intrigued to try another Glen Scotia that is not like in a heavy char, just a regular line. Because I think the front, it's already telling you like, hey, this is what I am.
Oh, it's good stuff.
But this is what I just did.
Absolutely. They have some really good. I wonder if that's what people experienced Scotch drinkers can drink something and be like, oh, they have really quality casks. They have really good cask management. What that means is that in Scotch you can reuse barrels and age it. Quality cask management means pulling that cask out of circulation before it's basically gone bad.
Got it.
Like, you have to be careful about that.
Because then you're just going to waste a distillate.
And some people will still use those kind of
in a blend,
and it won't be as good, and the malt won't be as nice. So I wonder if that's what we pick up on different malts, that there's just sometimes you can just taste a Scotch and just know that the quality just is there. Is that weird? It's not something I'm experienced with explaining, though. For instance, something like Glen Scotia, as opposed to like a mass market distillery, I think the malt is not as neutered. Is that the right word?
That's a very good description.
Right?
They weren't clipped.
Right. It just is allowed to be what it is, and it's lovely. Yeah. Some of that mass market stuff it's not offensive, and because it's so not offensive, it's not gonna do much. Yeah. Yeah.
But I I would be intrigued to try more offerings for them because I think that this is a good offering for, you know, somebody trying this distillery for the first time.
Yeah.
And this is the only one I've had, and I enjoy it. And you can tell the promise of what their malt is as an unaged statement.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And it's very nuanced. It goes into many layers, I feel. You can get lost into this and probably get very drunk just trying to figure out what you got in those glasses.
I could drink this for quite some time.
And I still do not understand how so many distilleries that just take one single malt can have various tasting notes.
So
I really don't understand it.
Malt
I
is
get bourbon,
100% barley.
different mash bills.
It's 100% barley.
Don't get it.
Yeah, they're getting the flavors.
Yeah.
Okay, so Scotch gets all of its variants of flavors, not only because of the shape of their pot stills, right?
Okay.
Their stills are different shapes. Bourbon is primarily column still, but you'll get a lot in craft. They'll do a lot of hybrid stills, right? But so they're getting a lot of that flavor difference, I believe, from pot stills. Are they not, or do they only do column stills in Scotch? Now I'm second guessing everything I've read. You know who's really great at giving very cool information and making it interesting? Shayla at Whisky Central.
Props.
Shout out to Shayla. She's the one that made
She does her homework. I just skate by.
Ever since she did that video on worm condensers and worm tub, it was an amazing video. Ever since then, I've been just reading as much as I can when I have the time about Scotch, and it's just like, wow, such a world out there.
When I first heard worm tubs, that wasn't a very good mental picture.
Most people have the same reaction.
Until you described it. Because I'm thinking of, you know, like those places where you go to like spas that have like those fish you put your feet in and they suck dead skin. I'm kind of thinking of like you just get into a tub and these worms do something.
Oh, I see. No.
I don't know.
Shout out to Shayla and a lot of the other Scotch whiskey channels for all of the education that they provide. It's pretty great.
Shayla recommended this bottle for us.
She did. She actually put it on the top of our list, and she was, I think you'll love this. And she was absolutely
coming from the bourbon side. It's a good one. I wonder if just only strictly Scotch people would like it though.
I don't know. It is. So I don't know what some people object to Scotch. I don't know what their objections are. If you don't like Scotch, tell us the reasons why below, please. I don't know. Is it the peat? Is it the barley? Is it that maltiness? Or do you not like sherry finished Scotch? Give us a comment. We would love to know why if you push against Scotch, why you do. I didn't like it at first. Right. And I think it was the barley. Because it's such an unusual, if you're going from that sweet corn and you transition to barley, it's a completely different sweetness. And it tastes wrong. Yeah. And I only got into drinking it more and going down this wormhole with you because of the sherry casks. It added that layer of sweetness and then sometimes it covers nuttiness. And it helps balance that maltiness that a lot of people push against. Finished, like not just Scotch matured in sherry, Scotch finished in sherry. Because I like to call it, it's like extra wet barrels. You get a lot of that sherry influence. And I think that helps overcome that flavor of malt. And then your palate kind of recognizes what malt tastes like. And then you can go to just single malt aged in ex-bourbon barrels. Yeah, and it'll be like that's how I graduated, and I enjoy it. And there's some that I don't enjoy, but I still appreciate what it is. Yeah. I wouldn't buy them, but I could sit and drink it. I'm not going to just drink for it. Yeah. So do you guys... Oh, I forgot that I put water in mine. You did? I did. Why would you do such a thing? This is already, like, amazing. I know you like to experiment and open up the flavors, but I like the flavors already. It's wonderful. It can do it. Oh. Yeah. That's a separate bottling. It's wonderful, isn't it? They can just do that, dilute it down a little bit to, like, what is that, like, maybe, like, 46, 48, 48-ish? Yeah. And that's another bottle. It's a different bottling line. So, have you guys had Glen Scotia, particularly the Victoriana? I think I'm saying that right. Give us a comment below and a thumbs up. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like what we're doing, and turn on those notifications so you can join us in our next video. I know you can tell that I absolutely fancy this whiskey.
You do, and I do too. And I'm a loss for words.
Fair enough. Cheers.
Cheers.